Edition of Victor the Football Predictor. I'm Victor. Man, did I have a terrible few picks in other bowl games. I went 5-4. That's more losses than I've had all year in a few games. I don't know what's happening. Well, there were a few upsets. Those early games are kind of hard to pick. I did get Notre Dame right though, which a lot of people didn't get right. So, it's a good thing. Alright. Got the second edition of my my bowl picks. So, first game is actually tonight. I'm barely getting this pick in on time. It's Miami versus Cal in the Emerald Bowl. It's a long trip for Miami. I don't think that's the reason why they're going to lose the game. I think they don't have any senior leadership in this team. And in the first bowl game, that's going to hurt. Cal does have that, and they don't have to travel very far to play. So I think Cal wins this. I think there's going to be a lot of athletes. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. Cal wins. Alright. Unfortunately this week, this session, I do still have some picture helmets left. So sorry about that. But next bowl game is the Independence Bowl with Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech. So I don't know if they're kind of big. I think tough one to pick. I think I'm gonna go with Northern Illinois. I honestly have no idea why I'm picking them. I'm just picking them. Northern Illinois wins. Alright. Next game, we got some teams everyone knows with NC State and Rutgers in the Papa John Bowl. Both these teams have been playing well recently. I think NC State's going to win this one. I think their offense is clicking, and I think they might be a little faster than Rutgers. NC State wins, takes home the papajohns.com bowl. Alright, next game. Mizzou versus Northwestern. A slightly disappointing team versus a very surprising team in the Alamo Bowl, which is always a good one. I think Missouri's going to win this. I think Northwest is turned into a good program. Coming back, but not good enough to hang with Chase Daniels, who still has a very potent offense despite their lower than expectations season this year. I think Missouri wins, gets another win for the Big 12. Mizzou gets the Alamo Bowl. Alright, next bowl game, which is Maryland versus Nevada in the Humanitarian Bowl. I believe that's out in California. Maryland's gonna win. They're better. Maryland wins. Alright. Now we're stay in California with the Holiday Bowl, which is usually a pretty good bowl game. Pretty good teams, which features Oklahoma State and Oregon. This is going to be a good bowl game. This is going to be a really good game. Oklahoma State coming off a really gutty performance against Oklahoma, and Oregon coming in off a thrashing of Oregon State in a rivalry game, which I picked right. Just throwing it out there. I think Oregon wins this. I think there'll be a lot of points scored. It's going to be a good game. Oregon wins. Right, back to the small teams in the Texas Bowl. A little bit of a home field advantage when Rice takes on Western Michigan. I think Western Michigan's going to win. I saw them play Nebraska earlier this season. For a small school, they played pretty well. So, Western Michigan. Alright. Now to the Armed Forces Bowl, which is another little bit, I don't know if you want to call it an advantage or not, with Air Force and Houston. I think Houston's going to win. Alright. Had 2 sheets full of information for this show. It's ridiculous. Alright, now we've got Oregon State taking on Pitt in the Sun Bowl. So, it's kind of a weird place for both these teams. Pitt, kind of an up and down season. Oregon State had a great year, and they fell short of the Rose Bowl by 1 game. They lost to Oregon, which I picked right again. I think Oregon State's going to win this one. Give some props for the Pac-10, and wrap up what has been a really good season with a bowl win. Oregon State. Alright. This next game, it's kind of hard to pin down. It's an interesting matchup in the Music City Bowl with home field advantage again for Vanderbilt as they take on Boston College. Boston College is coming in after the ACC championship game where it wasn't a fun game to watch, wasn't pretty, but VTech ended up winning and going to the BCS Bowl. So we know that Boston College is a quality team. They took Virginia Tech down to the wires. It was a closer game than the score showed, actually. Vandy, surprise team this year, went out to, I believe, 6 or 7 or 8 or no, something like that, before losing. So that's not a team to sleep on, as I made the mistake of doing before. I think Boston College wins, though. They're just too good for Vandy. BC gets the win. Alright, only 2 games left for this session. We have Kansas taking on Minnesota in the Insight.com Bowl. I'm sick of these names. It's ridiculous. Interesting story in this one. Minnesota, out of nowhere, they go from not winning a game last year to getting in a bowl game. And not that bad of a bowl game, despite the name it has. Kansas is kind of the Minnesota of last year. And then this year, the high expectations didn't really play up to them. They did get a few big wins against Missouri in their annual rivalry. I think this is going to be it'll be a good game for the fans of these 2 teams. That's about it. I think Kansas does win. Gets another win for the Big 12. Kansas. Alright, last bowl game for this part 2 of my bowl special. We've got LSU taking on Georgia Tech in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Georgia Tech's one of the most underrated teams this year in college football. I really, really like this team. They're going to be incredible next year. But to wrap up this year, I think they're going to knock off LSU, who really just very disappointing this year. Very, very disappointing. The most losses by a national champion the previous year. I think Georgia Tech's going to run all over them. That option's going to light up the scoreboard. Georgia Tech wins. Okay. There are my picks for the second part of a 3-part bowl special. I've got all the bowl games outside of the New Year's Day Bowl and the BCS. I am going to have a separate edition for the BCS Bowls, but I'm going to put it online the same time as I put the New Year's Day Bowls on there, because there are a few BCS Bowls on January 1st. So hopefully I do better with my picks this time around than I did the first session. Terrible. No. I did terrible. But thanks for watching. It's been another episode of Victor the Football Predictor.